closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
Hello everyone, my name is Anthony and welcome back to the Anthony James Show here on Sports Fan Entertainment. Once again, I'm here with a Power Rankings video. Now before I get into it, I want to say thank you to you guys. I didn't realize last week a little comment about me having finals. I didn't realize how many of you were going to comment saying good luck and all that. I really do appreciate that. I apologize I haven't got a chance to respond to your comments yet. I have a lot of comments that I need to respond after this finals week is all said and done now. Today, it's Wednesday. I just took my last final. Well, I didn't just, but it was a few hours. But I'm done. I'm done. Bottom line, I am done with finals, so I'll probably spend either Thursday or Friday catching up on all the comments from this video, last video, and videos on my own channel. I apologize. I tried to respond to comments, so I'll be working on that. But again, thank you all. I really do appreciate it. I did not expect so many people to say good luck on your finals. I can't stress how much I appreciate it. But let's get into it. Another round of my power rankings, like always, are in the description, so feel free to look at that. But let's get into it. Number 1, number 2, they stay the same. Patriots at 1, Cowboys at 2. I could have adjusted. I didn't feel like it, though. These two are the two best right now in the NFL. I don't think they meet in the Super Bowl, though, but they're playing really well. Then the Giants, they're number 3. I think this is well-deserved. This team has been playing fantastic football. If there's one team that can beat the Cowboys, we've seen it, it's the Giants. If they meet in the playoffs, which I feel like they will, man, that's going to be a great matchup. I know everyone's going to be excited for that. Giants are doing really well. If any team has a shot at making it a run, this is the team. There's not many teams this century who have won more than one Super Bowl, and believe it or not, the Giants are one of them. Who says they can't do it again? Next up, at number 4, we have the Raiders move back up ahead of the Chiefs. They won, the Chiefs lost. Chiefs shouldn't have lost, but they did. So Raiders move up a spot. Congratulations, you guys are doing really well. You've secured a playoff spot. Man, the AFC West is going to be an interesting finish, to say the least. Then we have the Chiefs. They moved down 2 slots. You lost to the Titans. I don't think you should have lost that game. You really shouldn't have lost that game, and it hurts. It's going to hurt you guys a lot. You were in the driver's seat for your division. Now you're going to have to hope for some things to happen. You needed to win against the Titans. You didn't. That really does hurt. I mean, you should still be a playoff team, but that was a big loss. Next up, I have the Seahawks move up 2 spots to number 6. They killed the Rams. Whatever, it's the Rams, but a win's a win. They're looking like a solid team in the NFC, and when we have a lot of new and inexperienced teams going to the playoffs in the NFC, this is a team that's been there time after time again. They could be a threat for the championship. Watch out. I can see this team going to the NFC Championship and then to the Super Bowl. They are my Super Bowl pick, so I do hope that happens if the Vikings aren't in it, which they're not, but Seahawks are doing well too. Next up, we have the Falcons, move them up 2 spots to 7. I know I come on here, trash the Falcons just about every week. I don't think they're a contender. They're a playoff team. I don't think they're a contender. But at this point, they're going to have to really screw up to lose the division. I still think the Buccaneers have a chance. Let me remind you of that. But the Falcons have been playing decent. We'll see if they can do it in the playoffs. Under Matt Ryan, they haven't had much success in the playoffs, so I guess we'll wait and see on that. Next up, we have the Lions. They moved down 2 slots to 8. You lost to a good Giants team. Oh well. At this point, you need to win Week 17. Bottom line, it'll help if you win this week, though. I don't know the exact breakdown off the top of my head, and now that the Vikings are pretty much out, I don't really care. But I do hope you guys win the division, because I'm like you. I'd rather see you guys win the division than the Packers. Sorry, Packer fans. But yeah, Lions, you need to start winning. Don't do what the Vikings did and have a losing streak. No, please don't. Next, the Steelers move them up a slot to 9. They've done solid. They've done better than I expected they would. Good for them. Le'Veon Bell's been very good this year. Quiet game this week, but you know what? This is probably a team that wins their division. Should have expected that coming in. They're a good team. They're still a good team. They're definitely a Super Bowl contender. We'll see how they do. And to finish out the top 10, they moved down 3 spots. The Buccaneers, technically, they're not even in the playoffs right now, but I think they're still a good team. I hope they make the playoffs, and if they don't, they put up a pretty darn good fight. I had them going 9-7, barely missing the playoffs. That may be coming true, and I hope it doesn't, because if it does, then the Packers probably are in the playoffs, and I'm sorry, Packer fans, but I prefer you wouldn't be. Anyways, next, the Dolphins, I move them up a slot to 11. They did a really good job with Matt Moore and not Ryan Tannehill. I don't think this is going to be a quarterback controversy, but hey, that's at least a positive thing. At least your backup's doing good for you in winning games. Next, the Titans move them up 3 spots. Huge win against a very good Chiefs team. Good job there. I can't believe it. Titans are surprising a lot of people. They still have a battle to win their division, though. We'll see if they can do it as the season unfolds. Next up, the Packers move you guys up 3 spots. You had a win against the Bears. You shouldn't have won, but you won. That's what makes a good team. You win games that you shouldn't. You weren't playing well against the Bears. That was a game the Bears could have and should have won, but you didn't. Congratulations. Very good chance to win the division. Considering you were 4-6 not that long ago, that's really good. Good for you guys. I honestly mean that. Next up, the Ravens, keep them the same. You won, but I just haven't seen enough from the Ravens. I'm sorry. They're doing about what I expected they will. They'll probably not win the division, which in turn means they miss the playoffs yet again. It's starting to become common. That's not a good thing, Ravens. Next up, we have the Texans at number 15, move you up 3 spot. Tom Savage. I could talk about Tom Savage. I talked about him in 2014 when he was a prospect. His biggest issue was his age. Doesn't really matter now if he's playing well. I mean, who knows if he actually can continue to do this. I'm not betting on it. But for now, he's the hot hand. We'll see if he can continue, especially if this team makes the playoffs. We'll see if he can continue in the playoffs or not. I'm not going to bet for it, but we'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened in the NFL. To finish out the top half of the league at number 16, the Broncos dropped 5 slots. Again, Broncos disappoint me. Should have been able to beat the Patriots. Man, this team's crumbling apart, and I hate it. This team should have made the playoffs, but you know what? It's proven a lot of people wrong. People didn't think the Broncos would be good this year, and they are a very good team. If they were in any other division, maybe not the NFC East, but any other division, they definitely would be a playoff team. They still have a chance, but they're making it harder on themselves. They can beat the Chiefs and Raiders. I'm predicting they'll beat the Chiefs and Raiders to finish out the season, but it's definitely not an easy path to the playoffs for the Broncos. Next up, after the Broncos at number 17, the Redskins. They've fallen apart. Bad loss to the Panthers. Your playoff hopes are diminishing rapidly. That's not a good thing. Next up, the Colts. I moved you up 1 spot. Frankly, that's what you deserved. I wasn't going to move you up too much more. I know you killed the Vikings, and that's not me being negative about it. That was a great win for you guys. But you should have beat the Texans at least once this season. Unfortunately, I don't think you make the playoffs at this point, which is really sad. I wanted to see you. I really like Andrew Luck, so I was hoping you would. But you know what? You won against the Vikings. Your small hopes are alive, so maybe somehow, someway you do win the division. I don't know. Next up, the Bills at number 19. Move them up 2 slots. They had a very decisive win over the Browns, but hey, a win's a win, even if it's the Browns. Good job there. Next up, the Vikings at 20. I moved them down 3. Only reason I didn't move them down more, and trust me, before I made this ranking, I was prepared to move them down to 5, if not like 6, 7 spots. And if you know me, I try not to move teams more than 5 spots. I was prepared to do it, but man, there are some bad teams in this league, and I just couldn't justify moving them down even more than I have. Vikings are 7-7, missing the playoffs. Can't believe it after that 5-0 start. Oh boy. You can check out my channel. I recap every Viking game, so you can see me go from the 5-0 start down to this 2-7 record since. Oh boy, it's not been fun. Next up, the Panthers at 21. Move them up a slot. You won against the Redskins, who've been a playoff contender throughout the season. Good for you, although that win doesn't really do much for you now, does it? You're pretty much out of the... No, you are out of the playoffs at this point, so you're just ruining your draft stock. Whatever, I don't really care, though. It doesn't affect me. Vikings don't have a first-round pick. Next up, the Bengals. You lost a close game to the Steelers, but you should have won. No excuse there. So I move you down 2 slots. Next up, the Saints. You had a lot of points scored, and you won against the Cardinals. I knew this coming in the season, that the Saints would have a lot of shootouts. Luckily, Cardinals have sucked this year, and you guys just were the better team. offensively, you have Drew Brees, and that's why you're winning games. So at least there's that. Next up, we have the Eagles move down a slot. You move to 24 after a loss to the Ravens. You're kind of done. At this point, you can at least just see what Carson Wentz is like. Next up, the Chargers move you down a slot. Okay, I'm going to talk about the Chargers for a second because this Mike McCoy deserves to be fired. I honestly don't get this. I understand the scenario the Chargers probably wouldn't have won, but if you don't at least attempt this scenario, you're guaranteed to lose. The Chargers could have used a timeout. 16 seconds left. Sebastian Janikowski would have kicked a field goal, probably down by 6 because he probably wouldn't make that. You get the ball, no timeouts left. You probably have, let's say 8 seconds. You started 16 after kickoff and after a field goal. You're at 8 seconds. I think I'm being generous with only 8. Why? Why couldn't you attempt 1 or 2 Hail Marys? Why? That is just stupid. At this point, Mike McCoy is fighting for a job. You take every chance you have at winning a game. That wasn't going to hurt you using your final timeout and at least taking a chance. What's the worst you're going to do? Get a pick 6 and lose by more? Does that matter? At least you had a chance to win. You blew it. You blew it. Yes, I don't think they would have won, even if they did that. But you're 100% guaranteed not to win if you don't try it. There at least could have been a chance of them winning. What a stupid move. And to me, Mike McCoy, who should have been fired last year, definitely deserves to be fired this year. I can't believe it. Like, honestly, as a person, yeah, it sucks you lose your job. But you can't make moves like that when you're fighting for your job. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that watching that. How? Oh my... I still can't believe it. If I was a Chargers fan, I'd be pissed. And after that, same thing. Jets at 27. Rams at 28. Bears at 29. Jaguars at 30. 49ers at 31. And Browns at 32. Just about every team I just said there got killed. That tells you how bad some of these teams are. I think the worst part is... And I guess I'd have to look. Don't mark my words, but I think if the Browns win a game and the 49ers continue losing, there's a chance the Browns don't get the number 1 pick. That's how bad some of these teams are this year. Oh boy, there are some bad teams this year, and a lot of quarterback needy teams. Crazy. Oh, it was crazy. It should be a fun offseason though. As a Vikings fan, I'm rapidly looking forward to the offseason and hoping there's some glimmers of hope somewhere out there for the Vikings' future. Anyway, those are my power rankings this week. I'd love to hear your opinions on them, so feel free to leave them in the comments below like always. And if you're new to me, you can follow me on Twitter at AnthonyJamesTV and subscribe to my channel, Anthony James TV. I make plenty of NFL videos there, so you can go there, check them out. And if you have a topic that you'd like me to talk about in the NFL, feel free to leave it on a video there or a video here, and I'll try and do it. But again, thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Anthony. I'm out. See you all later.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.